You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness. Living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
Holiday magic is in the air, and DSW's got all the shoes to make your season extra merry. Believe, you've got parties to attend and lists to check twice, so DSW is taking care of the details, like gifts to make their eyes all aglow, styles that bring joy to your world, brands everyone wants, like UGG, Nike, Birkenstock, and more, and deals to make your budget bright. Find the perfect shoes for you and yours at a DSW store near you or dsw.com.
State Farm and DJ Dramos from Life as a Gringo know making smarter financial moves today secures your financial freedom for a successful tomorrow.
In my family, one of the biggest points of contention was finances. And I know as I gotten older, I made it a promise to myself to say, I don't want to relive that. You know, hiring somebody to do credit repair for me. That was a gift that I gave myself that allowed me to then get my first apartment, then eventually buy my own home. Like, these are all things that are possible.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. State Farm, proud sponsor of My Cultura Podcast Network.
The following ad is sponsored by Pets Best Insurance Services. Your pet is your bestie. Your therapist, your preferred match. It's easy to love them, even when they sneak your snacks. It's easy to protect them, too, with pet insurance coverage from Pets Best. Because it's all fun and games until they chew on something they shouldn't. With perfect timing, Pets Best helps protect your furry friend and your budget from this imperfect world. Get up to 90% on eligible vet bills for less than $1 a day. Find your perfect match at PetsBest.com. Pet insurance products offered and administered by Pets Best Insurance Services, LLC, are underwritten by American Pet Insurance Company or Independence American Insurance Company. For all terms, visit PetsBest.com/policy.
It's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. Thank you for joining me. This episode is airing on Christmas Day. So whatever you celebrate, whatever your beliefs are, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. And here's to an episode where I share some insights, some things that have been on my heart, where, quite frankly, I've been afraid. I've been in a lot of fear around taking a stand or discussing some things, and it's deep stuff. It's in my cells, my DNA, my karma, my experiences. But hopefully the messages that I share today will resonate with you, get you thinking curiously, and also going within and questioning your own truth and exploration. Because we are entering a new era. And just last week, we aired the episode with Hannah Francie. Hannah's elsewhere, and we talked about the astrology of 2025. And during that conversation, she and I both felt so empowered and uplifted. We talked about that with each other after we quit recording, about how we were grateful to know one another. We were grateful that we were connected and that we could look at the astrology and the numerology and use it as a divine roadmap, but also find our place in that story. We are writing our own stories and we are using our divine will. One of the reasons that I do what I do and have taken the chance, because it was a big leap of faith for me, and I've shared this in my Dark Night of the Soul, my spiritual awakening. But you all have to know, when I was growing up, I thought I was going to be a neurosurgeon. I thought I was going to be a doctor. It's because it's kind of what I was told. Amanda, you need credentials. You need credibility. You need a reputable position to make your mark in the world and be significant. And if you are academically educated and have credentials, then you matter. You mean something. You've proved your worth. And I'm not pointing any fingers. This is part of my path that I appreciate. I love academia. I love learning and knowledge. But I really was following everyone else's path for me, and I did not know how to listen to my own voice for a long time. And looking back, it's exactly how it was supposed to be. But as most of you know, I went off to school. My undergraduate degree is in religion. And also I did pre-med. I also have a minor in art history, and then I finished my pre-med requirements. So, classic overachiever. But I still thought I was going to be a physician. And I knew in my bones, I don't want to be a physician when I grow up, or at least not right now, even though that's what I thought I was supposed to be or would make me significant, successful. And it's funny, I had an organic chemistry professor say to me, Amanda, have you thought about getting a Master of Public Health? You don't have to be a physician, but if you're interested in medicine, and he says, why are you interested in being a physician? And he wasn't asking me because of my parents or expectations. He was saying, why do you want to be a doctor? And I said, well, I don't want to be a doctor, but I believe in bioethics, healthcare, human rights, looking at public health, showing people, how to really take back their sovereignty. And at the time, I was in a biomedical ethics philosophy class in college, and I was eating up all of these public health and case studies around ethics and health law. And he said, why don't you get a Master of Public Health? And I said, what would I do with that? What is that going to prove? Or what am I going to be when I grow up if I get that degree? And he says, it's like the liberal arts approach to medicine, meaning it's not about practicing individual health. It is about you looking at public health trends. And if you care about bioethics, human rights, and the legal ramifications of healthcare choices and advocacy, why don't you look at some of the people, the prominent people in that field that you admire, you respect, you're interested in, and see how they got where they got or what they're doing. And sure enough, that's how I ended up getting a Master of Public Health from Boston University in health law, bioethics, human rights. And then I have a second concentration in healthcare delivery. Again, overachieving and so lost at that time, yet so engaged. But when I finished my master's degree, I was qualified to be a bioethicist in a hospital, and fate led me into insurance, healthcare insurance, plan design, delivery, which later on led me into organizational and people development. So the universe had a different plan for me and was pushing me and moving me around, but was feeding my soul in looking at healthcare. And the way that has evolved spiritually for me, because this spiritual quest was always there, was about human potential, turning on our human potential. And you all have heard me say this time in and time out. I love astounding people with their own abilities. Because when I am astounded with my own abilities, and I'm not talking about ego or pride or self-righteousness, I'm talking about when I have those mystical moments when it's like, it clicks, or it's a sign or a synchronicity, or something intangible becomes real in my body, a knowing, an innate knowing, my intuition, my instinct. It's like time stands still. Space and time breaks open, and I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, beautifully equipped. And we all have that gift and ability. So what I'm about to share really is about discernment and why the development of our intuition is so important to me. And that's why I've dedicated myself to what I do. Yes, I am a psychic medium. I'm a spiritual intuitive. I am precognitive and claircognizant. It's a freaking mouthful. If you don't think it was difficult for me to leave a very successful healthcare career and leave and say, I'm leaving at the top of my game and I'm going to go be a psychic, that was a big deal. I wasn't doing it just because I was angry at something or disconcerted. I was doing it because if I didn't make that leap and practice utilizing my gifts to support other people, flexing those muscles, and taking this huge leap of faith and risk, I was denying a call within. And it was a massive departure financially. My credentials, which I was saying that were so important to me, they really were. If I have these credentials, then I'm significant. It was this huge departure, but it was this big call to action from my soul. And what I've shared with you is as I started to heed the call, and that had happened before I left healthcare, information started opening up and downloading in me, like deep cellular knowing, cellular memory, lots of past life information, almost downloaded like a USB port in my brain, and it would download so fast, so much. And it's almost like just tons of files would download into me. And it was really difficult to communicate. My safe space was my mother and my husband. A safe space after that became my sister, one of my sisters. They held space for me to talk about the weirdest of the weird. And the three of them, and I had other people in my life, but those three stand out, never made me feel crazy or insane. And they would laugh at me, but they took me seriously. And they were like, okay, that's what you believe. I don't get it. I don't know what you're talking about, Amanda. Okay, the crystals are talking to you. Okay, you're seeing UFO and spacecraft in the sky and they're communicating telepathically with you. Wow, that sounds pretty wild. Tell us more. They were never saying, you're nuts, we don't want to hear about it. They'd say, okay, well, tell us about it. And they were curious and they held space for me to discern and to figure out and to become and to grow and use my voice. And I feel like I am in one of those spaces where I'm wanting to grow and use my voice, and it scares me to death. So I don't know if any of you out there can relate to being afraid to use your voice. And listen, the way you see me from afar is I'm not afraid to use my voice. But I tell you what, sometimes I'm afraid to use my voice because I want people to feel inclusive and curious and skeptical and question, because I want people, any of you out there, to listen within and follow the breadcrumbs you find. Recently, I've had lots of people reaching out to me around drones, UFO, disclosure, false disclosure, alien invasions, the end of the world, apocalyptic events, all sorts of massive stuff and lots of fear around it. But what's beautiful around that is everyone who has been reaching out, and I've had this incredible conscious collective community of women where we have talked about and discerned these things and brought all of our ideas and insights and experiences to the table. But so many people out there are starting to have some fear, panic, and concern around what the future truly holds. And when I talk about the numerology of 2025 and it being a 9-year of surrender and closure and change, completion, but a year of integrity, high character, sovereignty, this is a mythic year. I want you to think of this as like epic mythology versus doomsday apocalypse. Are there some things that I feel like are coming down the pipelines from mass media and news, events in the world that are going to change and challenge us? Yes, I do. And I don't say that to create fear or panic. I say, hey, question things. Use your intuition, your insights, your inner knowing to ask more questions, to open up your mind, and also to do the simple things that detox you from false information. We live in a technology age that is rapidly accelerating and advancing beyond our human capabilities. We have incredible technology within the human genome, our physiology, and our biology. And we are just now beginning to expand and see the capabilities of our human technology, our human potential. But in order to see that, trusting our intuition, listening to our inner guidance system, our physical body, our emotions, our mind, figuring out how to sync those up, it's not difficult, but it requires conviction and commitment to personally developing the muscles you need in order to be discerning and to move away from fear, panic, rationing, fear-mongering, psychological operations.
This is it. Your moment. This is your time to make your comeback with Purdue Global. When you come back with a Purdue Global degree, you create opportunity for yourself, your family, and your future. It's a degree you can be proud of, a degree that employers will trust and respect. Purdue Global offers working adults like you over 175 flexible degree programs to meet your specific career goals. These include associate, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees and certificates. Purdue Global degree programs range from nursing to business to communication and more. Whatever your interest, we have the degree that will move you forward. You have the knowledge, you have the experience. Now it's time to get credit for the work you've done and earn the recognition you deserve with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. You know you're worth it. We do too. So don't wait another second to get the degree that will take your career to the next level. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Hey guys, LeVar Arrington here to tell you the National Sales Event is on at your Toyota dealer, making now the perfect time to get a great deal on a dependable new truck like a rugged half-ton Tundra, combining raw capability with premium comfort and advanced tech to fuel your wildest adventures. Or check out the Tacoma, delivering trail-dominating power and captivating style. The new Tacoma was born to make your off-roading dreams come true. Check out more National Sales Events deals when you visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness, and there are a lot of different ways. Happiness is unique to each individual, but living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start. Before they start is an important part, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. So for a happier, healthier you, use Colgate Total and actively help prevent oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities. You'll be happy you did. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
It's the Knix Best of 2024 sale, going on now at Knix.com. Don't miss incredible deals on life-changing leak-proof underwear, unbelievable everyday bras, and more from the #1 leak-proof brand in North America. Save big, like 30% off bras, 40% off leak-proof, 50% off tops and bottoms, 60% off swim at Knix.com. That's KNIX.com. Millions of women have made the switch to Knix's revolutionary period underwear, and there's never been a better time for you to try them. During the Best of 2024 sale, save up to 40% on super comfy, machine-washable, and stylish leak-proof undies. Plus, shop other year-end clearance deals like 30% off bras, 50% off tops and bottoms, 60% off swim, and more. Stock up on your Knix favorites or try something new during the Knix Best of 2024 sale. But hurry, these deals are only good while supplies last. That's KNIX.com. Hurry, the sale ends soon and sizes will sell out. Go to Knix.com. That's KNIX.com.
Hey, instead of another ad break, let's take a break together. Tune out whatever is around you, close your eyes if you can, and let's just sink into sound. This mindful moment has been brought to you by Apple Music Chill. Listen now on Apple Music Radio.
I was listening to, and we will link this in the show notes, I followed Dr. Stephen Greer for a long time, Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. If those are new names to you, do a little research, check them out. Stephen Greer is a retired physician and a ufologist, and he has done groundbreaking work around extraterrestrials, non-human intelligence, and disclosure efforts around not the potential of the existence of extra-dimensional beings and their interface with planet Earth. Since World War II, we have been under what most everyone calls massive psychological warfare. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And you can get into conspiracy theories all you want, but I tell you what, I've gone down plenty of conspiracy theory rabbit holes where I'm like, this is the craziest stuff. I'm like, is this true? But I don't go into fear. I go into that curious place of, okay, I can read this, I can listen to it, but what resonates with me? What rings true? Because always in the panic, in the conspiracy, there are always nuggets of and elements of truth. And I'm like, well, I don't know that that resonates with me, but this does. There might be something to that. Okay. And then I will say to my guides, my soul, show me more. And next thing you know, I'll get a phone call or an email or something will pop up on my YouTube and it will validate it. And it's not stuff that I say out loud, so my phone hears me. In fact, all of my technology when it comes to audio has been turned off on my phone since that was a capability. And not because I am afraid, although I think there's some weird stuff around that. I don't want to be monitored all the time because I already am monitored. I'm on social media. We're monitored. Like, that is a truth, a reality. But being discerning, things show up and pop up in synchronistic ways when I ask for validation, confirmation, and guidance. They will do that for you too. This is a time to check in with yourself, your body, your soul, and ask for validation, ask for guidance, ask for the truth to be revealed, ask to learn more. So asking, getting curious, that stuff is where your power is, your empowerment is, especially in the next couple of years. But I was listening to this episode, like I said, we'll link it in the show, and it was just recently released here in December, talking about disclosure and false disclosure. There have recently been lots of drone sightings, and it's causing some panic and some chaos. It's actually starting to, become headlines on media where they talk about motherships and, flying objects. And that stuff is starting to roll out. Pluto has entered Aquarius. Get ready for the weirder than the weird. There are some strange things that are happening. But this video that I watched, this interview, talks about disclosure and false disclosure. And when I talk about disclosure, we're talking about alien races. Are there aliens? Do aliens exist? What are the secret operations with the government? What are the psychological operations? All the dark, heavy stuff with the CIA, interaction with extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial life, their relationships with planet Earth. And when I start to think about that, and I remember this years ago, my first UFO encounter, I've shared this before, was right in Austin, Texas. We lived outside of Austin. We had a couple of acres. And I came home one night. I looked up to the stars in the sky, and it had been a long day at work, and I looked up, and there was a beautiful starlit night, and I looked at one of the stars, and it was moving. And I thought, Amanda, you're just tired. And then it was like something told me to walk back outside and look up at the stars again. And so as I looked up at the stars, I not only saw one craft, I saw two or three, and I saw laser beams in the sky, like the craft were communicating with each other, and they were lights flashing around the craft in the sky. And my very first impression when I saw this, apart from am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Am I making this up? Apart from that kind of stepping back and being objective, I remember thinking, wow. This something big is happening. So, oh my gosh, neurons were firing and wiring in my brain And through that, not only was I astonished and amazed, I felt the most unconditional love, peace, familiarity. Like whatever I saw was familiar to me, was safe to me. And that was the very first impression I got. It was not an Independence Day movie or aliens coming to invade or, oh my gosh, they're coming to attack us. It was really like, whoa, they're signaling me, and my sister will say, okay, Amanda, are you going to get up on the spaceship with your people? I'll tell our family you're coming back if you go for a ride with your people. I mean, we have all sorts of jokes in my family around that. But the immediate impression I got was love. And I shared this, and we will link this older episode with Dr. Michael Masters, who is a biological anthropologist who has studied extraterrestrial life and looked at aliens or non-human intelligence as us from the future, coming back to support us, to guide us. Most of the people, the experts, the scientists, the people in the government, the people who have been on major projects who are starting to come out in high levels of government talking about their experiences have had interactions that are supportive and loving and about the evolution of humanity. This golden age of humanity, extra dimensionals coming here to support us, to save us from the wreckage of ourselves, to avert us from atomic bombs or nuclear warfare and not blowing up this beautiful planet and this beautiful species. And whether that's a narrative that you resonate with or not, if it's unbelievable to you or this sounds silly to you, that's cool. Like you do you. You really discern and figure out what you believe. But what is also going on and has been a mass media agenda for a long time, which does fall under psychological warfare, is creating panic, mass panic and hysteria in order to see who and what can be controlled. Because when there is mass fear, panic, chaos, trauma that happens, things shut off in our brain and we are more susceptible to mind control. So if you think back to the pandemic to me, and I said this early on, was like a test case. I said, this is a test case to see who follows, who doesn't follow, who's complicit, who isn't complicit, or compliant. Maybe compliant's a better word. And this is not whether you believe or don't believe in vaccines. I have a pretty firm stance on that. I do have a Master of Public Health, and there are lots of case studies around the right to choose whether or not you are vaccinated, and that is a public health question. And I remember very early on during the pandemic, I have a lot of clients in the government and in high positions who were reaching out and saying, do I get vaxxed? Do I not get vaxxed? And we had serious discussions about that. And they were like, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to stick with that. And I'm sharing with you during that time, if we all think back to the world shutting down, there's so much beauty that came from that. Hannah and I talked about that on our astrology podcast about how we reprioritized, we simplified a little bit. It also, it created a lot of crazy stuff within all of us because we didn't have access to things we normally had access to. We had limited resources and had to reconfigure ourselves. I feel like we are entering another stage where we are going to go through a series where our resources are limited, however that may look, whether it is technology is down, we don't have access to cash money, electrical grids go down, and again, I'm not being doomsday oriented. I am being realistic in saying the time is now to really ask yourself, hey, in the instance that some of these resources are not readily available to my family and I, what is our backup plan? What do we do in the instance that the power grids go out for 3 weeks? Who are our close family? Do we have extra water in the house? Do we have a generator? Hey, we don't have a generator right now. I'm just telling you that. So if we don't have a generator, we moved to Belize. Dennis and I moved to Belize in order to simplify and have access to food, running water, fresh farm food, things like that. And we came back to the United States, yes, to take care of my mother. But more and more, Dennis and I are like, how do we simplify? And that's what's been going on for me the last 3 months is a lot of fear came up at first. And it was like financial fear and stress and worry and feeling overwhelmed. And then it was like, Amanda, you want to simplify. What matters to you? And I tell you what I did on the Gemini full moon. This is so Gemini and so Gemini full moon. Is I started unsubscribing to like all of these emails I get, my consumerism emails. And y'all, everybody out here knows, I mean, I must have unsubscribed to 50 consumer-oriented email subscriptions. I'm talking everything from Crate and Barrel 2 and Williams-Sonoma to MAC Cosmetics, Fabletics, Good American, Skims, whatever I had. I mean, I started unsubscribing and it was really empowering. And sometimes it's really hard to unsubscribe from something. You have to go through a lot of hoops, or you unsubscribe and you still get 10 more emails from them. I mean, it's like that was frustrating. But it was also cleansing because so much of my email was bombarded with consumerism. And when I came back to the United States, that was a really hard shift to make. I went from living simply in a simple village amongst beautifully easy and lighthearted people who had what they need and had so much less than I have materially, and they were happier than me. They were happier and easier, and some of them lived in like 6 people in a family in a 1-bedroom place, right? In my village. And they lived way happier than me. And my husband, my husband and I lived a happy life, don't get me wrong, but like we started to come back to the simplicity of community and nature and really knowing we could live abundantly, give back, be of service without living under the Western influence of materialism and consumerism. So by doing that, just, a week or so ago on the full moon, it was like my declaration of, okay, I'm not going to be bombarded with this consumerism. Whatever is coming up in my news feed or my email feed, I want it to be intentional. The things that I follow spiritually, the people that I enjoy spiritually, the news outlets that I feel like give me the information that really where I can discern the facts. So I don't have a lot of news subscription. In fact, I unsubscribed from a lot of mainstream media sources and really made sure that I had my more off the beaten path media sources, which, you can find those for yourself once you start digging into things and you find the media outlets that really resonate with you and are not instilling fear and panic and doomsday, anything that feels like it's like aliens are coming to invade or, the world is going to be taken over or, go run out and get toilet paper, like anything that feels extremist is. And I want you all to recognize that you have this incredible inner compass, and how you choose to practically engage with yourself and the world in a spiritual way, in the way of integrity, it all relates to your personal decisions. And listen, I am not perfect. And when it comes to giving back to the planet and recycling, I do all the things that I can, but I don't do enough. I do what I can. I do it one mindful act at a time, and I get better and healthier and clearer in my choices and my lifestyle choices. But it's a process. It's a lifestyle. So it's not an overnight flip on the light switch. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're on a spiritual quest and a journey already. You're learning new tools and resources that are metaphysical and physical and real and accessible to be able to tune in to your inner technology so you buy into fear and a new era of humanity versus a doomsday apocalyptic scenario.
This is it. Your moment. This is your time to make your comeback with Purdue Global. When you come back with a Purdue Global degree, you create opportunity for yourself, your family, and your future. It's a degree you can be proud of, a degree that employers will trust and respect. Purdue Global offers working adults like you over 175 flexible degree programs to meet your specific career goals. These include associate, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees and certificates. Purdue Global degree programs range from nursing to business to communication and more. Whatever your interest, we have the degree that will move you forward. You have the knowledge, you have the experience. Now it's time to get credit for the work you've done and earn the recognition you deserve with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. You know you're worth it. We do too. So don't wait another second to get the degree that will take your career to the next level. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Hey guys, Doug Gottlieb here to tell you the national sales event is on at your Toyota dealer, making the now perfect time to get a great deal on a dependable new truck like a rugged half-ton Tundra, combining raw capability with premium comfort and advanced tech to fuel your wildest adventures. Or check out our Tacoma, delivering trail-dominating power and captivating style. The new Tacoma was born to make your off-roading dreams come true. Check out more national sales event deals when you visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness, and there are a lot of different ways. Happiness is unique to each individual, but living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start. Before they start is an important part, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. So for a happier, healthier you, use Colgate Total and actively help prevent oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities. You'll be happy you did. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
It's the Knix Best of 2024 sale, going on now at Knix.com. Don't miss incredible deals on life-changing leak-proof underwear, unbelievable everyday bras, and more from the #1 leak-proof brand in North America. Save big, like 30% off bras, 40% off leak-proof, 50% off tops and bottoms, 60% off swim at Knix.com. That's KNIX.com. Millions of women have made the switch to Knix's revolutionary period underwear, and there's never been a better time for you to try them. During the Best of 2024 sale, save up to 40% on super comfy, machine washable, and stylish leak-proof undies. Plus, shop other year-end clearance deals like 30% off bras, 50% off tops and bottoms, 60% off swim, and more. Stock up on your Knix favorites or try something new during the Knix Best of 2024 sale. But hurry, these deals are only good while supplies last. That's KNIX.com. Hurry, the sale ends soon and sizes will sell out. Go to Knix.com. That's KNIX.com.
Hey, instead of another ad break, let's take a break together. Tune out whatever is around you, close your eyes if you can, and let's just sink into sound. This mindful moment has been brought to you by Apple Music Chill. Listen now on Apple Music Radio.
I think about things like natural disasters or pandemic, where we end up having people that are rushing the grocery store for things or looting or rioting, where humanity becomes the real insane version of humanity. And my question for you is, in the instance that there were to be a major event, where do you stand in that? How would you show up? Yes, we all have fear and panic, but what do we do to take care and keep our humanity intact? And how can we not buy into scare tactics or fear-based scenarios, so we're writing programs and code that are enforcing and reinforcing a program of fear versus choosing community, compassion, love, simplicity? And for me, like I said, I've been simplifying. My husband and I are starting to really clean out the house and eliminate things and give things away. And it's a process and it's a bit overwhelming, but I'm recognizing I'm overwhelmed by materialism, and I want to live simpler. I want to live safer. I want to live more mindfully. I want to live more in nature and in harmony with the earth. And listen, I am not a gardener. I think I've said this to y'all before. I don't have a green thumb, although my thumb has gotten greener with my house plants because I set that intention a couple of years ago. But I am not the consummate gardener, yet I know a lot of people who are. So in the instance, we did not, we don't have food supply. I know people who grow their food, and I could say, can I have some of your lettuce? Like, I know I sound silly when I say that stuff, but I also know a couple of people who are really good mechanics. In the instance that something happens and I need somebody who's proficient in mechanics or cars or engineering, who are those people in my circle? If it's not me, who do I know that I could call on that would be able to troubleshoot me through working something out on a vehicle? So it's all this kind of call to action around either developing skill sets within myself, certain awareness, certain, again, not contingency or backup plans, but just in the instance that some things were happen. Do I have cash put away in my house? Yes, I do. I've done that for a very long time. And again, it's not because I'm afraid the world is going to shut down. I do it to be prudent and to also know that I'll have some cash on hand in the instance that grids go down and my credit card doesn't work. Do we have a couple of gas tanks in our garage in the instant that there is no gas? Yeah, we do. And if you live in a big city and you don't have a car, then you have other things to think about in terms of where you are and what's safe to you. But again, this is not about instilling fear. It's about starting to talk to your soul and ask your soul to put the people, places, experiences, ideas in front of you that you can take conscious action around a day at a time, an interaction at a time. And like I said, for me, one of the first steps that felt good and freeing was just getting rid of all the consumer stuff that I was seeing on a daily basis in my emails. And listen, if I decide I want some lipstick from MAC Cosmetics, I will go to MAC's website and find the lipstick. I don't need 15 emails from MAC a week. And I don't think MAC was sending me 15 emails. And poor MAC, I'm just giving it to MAC. But I'm just saying that's just one of the things where I was getting so much consumerism that I really had to recognize I don't like what this is reflecting back. It doesn't align with what makes me feel safe and sustainable. So what are the little things that you can begin to do as we transition into 2025 that are going to create simplicity, sustainability, and going within and really getting clear in your own intuition and your inner knowing and your inner guidance system? That extrasensory ability is more important than ever. So as we shift into 2025, I encourage everyone out there, whatever is being dropped in the news and the media over the course of the next few weeks and the next few months, knowing that you have sovereignty, you have agency, you hopefully have people that love you or family, community, connections, resources. You are resourceful. Tapping into your inner resources and using your practical resources, your material resources, your human resources is where your empowerment is, and starting to think forward and not about tripping into the future, but to be strategic, to be oriented towards how am I going to live healthfully and sustainably and bring in more love, more light. Those are the things that I want you to start thinking about. And I will, like I said, I'm going to link this video. And if you've never listened to Forbidden Knowledge, Billy Carson is a rabbit hole of information. It's almost mind-blowing what he gets into. He's a great resource, very articulate, and also has paved the way in areas as far as research around exposing classified documents in the CIA and testing and all the psychological operations that have been done and where we are being diverted into fear. He's a great resource for that in a very clear and articulate way that you take what you want and leave the rest. And Dr. Stephen Greer is another good one. But this interview really poses a lot of questions much more articulately and experientially than I can communicate to you. But it's a good place to start. And I'm like, this is so funny. I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, Merry Christmas. Like, this is a great thing for you to do on Christmas. And I don't mean it that way, like to be heavy. I'm just saying these are things that we will dive into and explore. But what I would implore for all of you out there is to trust in yourself, your wisdom, your safety, your sovereignty, the power of your mind. The power of your mind. I've gotten back into a lot of meditation and listening to things like binaural beats. You know, everybody's heard of binaural beats, but what they do is they help with hemisync in the brain, hemisphere synchronization of the right and left hemispheres. And I've had to get my brain back in sync because I could feel the like kind of war, let's just call it, between right and left hemispheres, logic versus intuition and creativity. And so I've gotten back into regular meditation in the morning, in the evening, in the middle of the day, taking that time to retrain my brain and my mind to get into stillness. So meditation and just finding whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes of stillness. You'd be surprised at how 5 minutes can turn into 15 minutes when you are meditating and when you do it repetitively, and then the clarity it creates and the doors it opens synchronistically and psychologically within your brain, your biology, and your environment. Those sorts of things are truly more valuable than you can even know. So rather than going into fear and panic, go within and meditate. And as simple as that sounds and as boring as that sounds, it's where the juice is. Your juice is within. So drink that Kool-Aid versus the other Kool-Aid. I'm excited to let you all know that the guidebook is coming out, and I hoped to have it out before Christmas, but we put it on this new platform. So it's an interactive guidebook where it's through a platform where you get month over month and you have everything available to you. And there's going to be group discussions available in the guidebook, which has astrology and numerology. And I am thrilled for it because it creates such an accessible roadmap that will get you thinking and interacting psycho-spiritually. It'll give you a framework. It'll help you ground. It'll help you connect spiritually, connect those dots interpersonally, personally, and psycho-spiritually. So I'm excited for that. The guidebook is coming out. And also some of you may have noticed if you are on my newsletter that I am running a special right now with sessions. So there's a couple of specials going on and we will link those below. It's $100 off of a session or a 4-pack of sessions where you get 5 for the price of 4. And this is, I don't do these too often, but I'm doing it now because there's been such a need, and I want to be able to get people in and to offer a little bit more accessible rates. I know I have high rates and it's an investment, but there's only one of me, and my time is valuable in terms of being able to show up and fully provide what I can provide and hold the space in integrity without being too drained. But it's a limited special, and some things will be changing as far as my availability next year in terms of one-to-one work. So if this is something you've been thinking about and it is an investment that you can make, then maybe it's the time for you. But if it's too far of a reach investment-wise, I'm here. I'm going to be on Soul Sessions, and we're creating, and I know I've said this, but I'm really working to create more material and at affordable, accessible prices, more workshops, more downloadables, more audio, meditations, and different ways of learning, community learning, virtual learning that more people can engage with. So bear with me. I'm excited about that for 2025 and moving in that direction. So however you can connect, please do. And if you have questions, insights, curiosities, skepticism, whatever it may be, send them my way, podcast@soulsessions.me. And I wish everybody an incredible adventure as we move into 2025. Connect with your tribe, follow your light and your sovereignty, and know your empowerment. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the support that you give me and the encouragement. And thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of my truth and what scares me a little bit, but taking some stands on really recognizing the agency within our own abilities, our own authority and agency. It is a time where we, the people, are changing and evolving, and this is about the evolution of a new humanity, not apocalypse and fear. So buy into that and be a part of the revolution. Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year. Be well. Thank you so much for listening to Soul Sessions. If you've got questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Email us, podcast@soulsessions.me. If you love this podcast and you want to hear more, make sure you're following it, liking and subscribing, and sharing it with other people. Send this energy out. Share it with other people. Remember, you can always get your dose of Soul Sessions. New episodes drop on Wednesdays. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok. It's @SoulPathology, or check out soulpathology.com. I appreciate you and your light. Thanks for listening.
Hate has been winning for too long. It's at an all-time high. And too many people are facing too much hate all over this country. To turn the tide, we have to stand together. As a united team, we can change the momentum. It's time to take a time out against hate. Visit standuptoallhate.org to help. Join us in calling for a hashtag #TimeOutAgainstHate by following @What'sUpWithHate or posting the blue square emoji.
This is Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab. Many people have questions about how to improve levels of happiness. Living a healthy lifestyle is one sure way of increasing happiness. And a good place to start is with your oral health. Just a few small changes to your oral care routine, such as changing your toothpaste to Colgate Total, can lead to beneficial changes in your oral health. Colgate Total helps stop oral health problems like gingivitis and cavities before they start, because preventing oral health problems is a lot easier than treating them. Be dentist ready and get Colgate Total at shop.colgate.com/total.
Hey there, it's Scott Patterson from I Am All In Again podcast. Life's short, talk fast. Stream Gilmore Girls on Hulu. That's right. Grab your coffee and get cozy because all 7 seasons of Gilmore Girls are now on Hulu. Stream all the witty banter, heartwarming moments, and awkward Friday night dinners with Lorelai, Rory, and the eclectic mix of characters. Whether you're rewatching or going Gilmore for the first time, Hulu has you covered. It's a show, it's a lifestyle, it's now streaming on Hulu.
Hey, it's Angela Yee. Searching for the perfect gift this holiday season? Celebrate with Born in Roma perfumes by Valentino Beauty. Discover the Born in Roma scent collection at Sephora. Born in Roma by Valentino Beauty. For her, for him, for them.
At Amica Insurance, we know it's more than just a house. It's your home, the place that's filled with memories. The early days of figuring it out, to the later years of still figuring it out. For the place you've put down roots, trust Amica Home Insurance. Amica, empathy is our best policy.